Hi everybody, Robert Dyer, and welcome to the Robert Dyer channel Christmas Countdown, where tonight we're going to take a look, as I have done the last few years, to take a look at the December Christmas issue of Living with Christ magazine. And this is a Catholic magazine that is published once a month. The main bulk of it is having the Mass for each day. As you can see from the thickness of it, it's a pretty thick magazine, kind of like a Reader's Digest in the old days. Mostly taken up with the daily Mass for each day, where you have all the readings, the gospel, but it also has a number of other features that are beyond what you would get if you just bought a dedicated book for that purpose, like the ones they have in the pews at church. And so first of all, every month you get a artwork or photographic cover. Just take a closer look at the cover here. And this artwork, I would say this cover is not quite as good as the ones from the last couple of years that I've reviewed. It says it's obviously a stained glass window, but it's the Virgin Mary with the infant Jesus in St. Michael's Church in Luxembourg City in Luxembourg. So it's an old world thing, but in many ways it looks to me like a much more modern art. I don't know what it doesn't say what the year of this artwork is, but I don't find it particularly nobody's going to confuse this with the Michelangelo masterpieces. So I would think they could find a little more inspiring artwork for the cover, because this, along with Easter's, obviously the biggest, those are the two biggest celebrations of the year. So you need to have a little more enthusiasm, I would think. And that was also a complaint I have on this issue, is that it starts off, usually here the associate publisher has a message right inside on the first page, and it's usually a good message, but I think this one in general was a good message. But it says here about, I am already getting a little tired of Christmas. He's talking about Christmas decorations going up too early, and Walmart and Amazon. But for me, that's all part of the excitement of the Christmas season. I wouldn't want to give that up. So I just thought it was kind of a bah humbug. If you're in the Catholic religion business and you're getting tired of Christmas, maybe you're in the wrong line of work. And then here you have inside the cover the liturgical calendar for the month, as the various holy days and saints' days listed. The next page you turn, you have the Pope's intention for the month. This is the word directly from the Vatican, and it says the Pope's intention for December: for pilgrims of hope, we pray that this Jubilee year strengthen our faith, helping us to recognize the risen Christ in our daily lives, and that it may transform us into pilgrims of Christian hope. Now, again, this is content coming from the Pope himself, but it's too bad that it's not a more Christmas-specific message for this time. And then you have here a section about prayer. And what it has is, it has a set group of prayers that you can refer to for the morning, and then another set for the evening here on this page. But then on this page here starts a larger section in which they have a prayer for each day, and you can see it's about how long each one is. They're very short, and as I mentioned before, what's interesting about it is that it's not just prayers that were written by the magazine or the current publication from the church or anything like that. It's by prominent figures in the church going all the way back to the beginning in the Roman Empire years. So you have very old and early popes, doctors and fathers of the church. You have equal amount of women, of saints and other figures, and then you even have a few lay people mixed in of prominence, like Jane Austen. Very interesting compared to other sources of this type of material, that you have these very prominent people and their wide variety of time periods and perspectives, and so every day you have an interesting prayer to read. And then after that you have a somewhat sizable section of the other major content for the month, and that is usually 2 to 4 articles, at least 2 of which are usually the same people every month, and then the other 1 or 2 will be either, much like the prayers, it could be something old from an early pope, or it could be something from a current priest who's a guest columnist, so to speak. And once again, I was a little bit disappointed this month. They did have a little picture of a wreath here, which was good, but I didn't particularly, once again, you know, I say it should be inspiring, and I was not particularly inspired by these articles this month. They were on the subject matter. They were all about Christmas, and there was only 3. Usually there'll be 4. Content could have been a little more thought-provoking than it was. Very mundane and stereotypical discussion points. And then you have you get to the section with the daily mass, and there you have the whole liturgy written out. As I've said before, this is a good thing if you don't want to lug a big thick book that you would buy at a big cost with you to Mass, but in this time of flu and other government created illnesses that are circulating, you don't have to pick up that dirty missalette that's in the pew that everybody else is handling. So you have each day the whole Mass here, and I guess you get a few bonus bits of content within that each day. There's usually a little box here with some analysis of the reading or the gospel that day, and then at the end they try to put it's kind of a little bit childish, but a thought-provoking question for you to ponder or consider. I find them often rather childish, though. And also, for a number of the days, you get a little thing at the beginning about the saint for that day. However, my complaint is probably goes beyond just this magazine, because it's also on calendars and other things. is that a lot of the saints are left out. I think they really could have a saint just about every day, but they don't do that. There's a lot of more obscure saints who might inspire other people or have a message that would resonate with certain people, and because they don't get featured and nobody talks about them, it's kind of a lost opportunity. So I would like to see a saint, one of these little paragraphs for a saint each day of the month. And some of them, they give you a little artist's rendition of what they thought the saint looked like. In this case, Saint Lucy. And that's pretty much the end of the content. You get a little ad here for subscribing that's glossy, but I would like to see more pictures and artwork. It shows they can do something in color. And then here's an ad asking for money for radio ministry in Alaska, where Arctic Alaska, where the people can't get to Mass every week. So that's obviously something important of merit. And there was not, occasionally you also get these quotes at the end of a Mass for the day that are not part of the Mass, but the magazine adds them in. That's a nice touch. And then you get to the end and there's this glossy ad for the publishing company. Also has apparently a travel business for pilgrimages, go to the Holy Land and other places. So overall, this was as high quality as this usually is every month. The content was okay this month, but I think it could have been a lot better. Could have been a lot better artwork on the front and a lot more artwork inside. And as I say, the messages could have been a lot more inspiring or interesting or new in perspective. So I'm going to go ahead and I think they had a lot of good issues the rest of this year in the previous months, but this was a little bit disappointing for me. And so I'm going to go ahead and give this a solid 2 stars out of 5. I hope you like this video. Share it with your friends. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time tomorrow on this Christmas countdown. Bye, everybody.